People have tried to guilt you into things you didn't want to do, you noticed, and you didn't move. If you're the kind of man who stays quiet under pressure, you've probably watched someone try every trick in the book on you and walk away confused when none of it worked. Most people don't know they're being manipulated until it's already over. Their chest tightens. They say yes, and only later do they ask themselves why. That's because most manipulation tactics are built on one assumption: that the person on the other end needs to respond right now. Guilt needs an immediate apology. Urgency needs an immediate decision. Silence needs to be filled immediately or it feels unbearable. Here's what nobody explains. If you don't carry that need, the entire toolkit stops working. Not because you're smarter, because you're wired without the reflex they're aiming for. Take guilt. Someone implies you've let them down. A sigh, a pointed comment, no, it's fine. That means the opposite. You've felt that pull. It's real. Research on social obligation found that guilt is one of the fastest, most reliable levers for extracting compliance, because most people resolve discomfort faster than they evaluate whether the discomfort is even fair. But you've noticed something in yourself. You can feel the guilt and still not act on it. That's not coldness. That's the gap between feeling something and being controlled by it, and most people never build that gap. Then there's urgency. I need an answer now. This offer won't last. Behavioral research on decision-making under time pressure found that rushed timelines shut down the part of the brain responsible for weighing long-term consequences, which is exactly why manipulators manufacture deadlines that don't actually exist. You've probably noticed you just don't rush, not because you don't care about the outcome, because urgency that isn't yours doesn't become yours just because someone raised their voice. In reciprocity, the quiet one, someone does you a small, unasked-for favor, buys the coffee, covers for you once. Cialdini's research on reciprocity found that even tiny, unsolicited gestures create a felt obligation to repay, often disproportionate to what was given. Most people repay it without ever asking if the debt was real. You've paid people back plenty. But you've also noticed the ones who keep a ledger and you stop playing. One man learned this the direct way. A coworker kept covering small tasks for him, unasked, always mentioned later. Eventually she asked for something bigger, framed as, "After everything I've done for you." He looked at her and said 5 words. "I didn't ask for that." Not cold, not dramatic, just someone who'd noticed the ledger before she cashed it in. But here's the question worth sitting with. Is your resistance to all of this actual calm? Or did you just stop letting anyone close enough to try? Both look identical from the outside. Manipulation proof and disconnected can wear the same face. Only you know which one is yours. The last tactic is the quietest silence itself used as pressure. Someone goes cold, waits, expects you to fill the gap out of discomfort. Most people can't tolerate more than a few seconds of it. You can sit in it all day. That's not you winning a standoff. That's you never having needed the noise in the first place. If you're a man, you've probably had someone try to shame you into reacting, call you difficult for not taking the bait. That's not a flaw in you. That's the tactic failing and looking for someone to blame. None of this makes you untouchable. It makes you someone who responds on your own timeline instead of theirs. Most people call that stubborn. The right people call it something else: steady. Which tactic did you recognize first? The one someone tried on you or the one you've quietly stopped falling for? Tell me below. And if you know someone who's still getting talked into things they don't want, send them this. Sometimes just hearing the mechanism explained is enough to break it.